good morning, everybody. This is the House Committee on Economic Development and Small Business, and it will come to order. Mr. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Chair Hoskins.
Here.
Representatives Grant.
Here.
Whitsett. Neely.
Here.
Liberati.
Here.
Kofia.
Here.
Farhat.
Here.
Miller.
Here.
Tisdale.
Here.
Van Workum.
Here.
Martin.
Here.
Roth.
Here.
St. Germain.
Here.
Mr. Chair, you have 12 members present and a quorum.
All right, thank you. First things first, we're going to get some votes out of the way. First, just a quick, we have to refer a bill to another committee. See, we need to vote on House Bill 4978. It's a part of a package that both Rep. Roth and Rep. Kofia have been working on. Some of the bills are in local government, so we're just going to refer this bill, 4978, which was referred here. We're going to also refer that to local government as well. So we need to do a roll call vote to move this. With that, I guess I will call the roll.
Chair Hoskins.
Yes.
Representatives Grant.
Yes.
Whitsett. Neely.
Yes.
Liberati.
Yes.
Kofia.
Yes.
Farhat.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Tisdale.
Yes.
Van Workum.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Roth.
Yes.
St. Germain.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 12 yeas, 0 nays, 0 passed. Bill is referred.
All right, thank you. All right, the next thing up, we're gonna vote out Senate Bill 293. We took it up the last time we were here in committee. Let's see, Representative Miller moves to report Senate Bill 293 with recommendation. Mr. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Chair Hoskins.
Yes.
Representative Grant.
Yes.
Whitsett. Neely.
Yes.
Liberati.
Yes.
Kofia.
Yes.
Farhat.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Tisdale.
Yeah. What are we doing? No. Dismiss this? I'm sorry, no.
Van Workum.
No.
Martin.
No.
Roth.
Pass.
St. Germain.
No.
Mr. Chair, you have 7 yeas, 4 nays, 1 pass. The bill is supported with recommendation.
All right. All right. All right, let's see. Next thing, I am going to read in a letter that I drafted to refer some bills to the subcommittee on housing. So, dear Mr. Clerk, this letter is noticed that I'm referring the following House bills to the subcommittee on housing. House bills 5019, 5029, 5030, 5031, 5032, and 5033. These bills were referred to our committee, the House Committee on Economic Development and Small Business, and are more germane to the Subcommittee on Housing. I've asked the Subcommittee on Housing to review and make recommendations on these bills, and I look forward to their feedback about these pieces of legislation. So there is that. And with that, the committee will go at ease at the call of the chair. All right, the committee will come back to order. Next, we will be hearing testimony from Floor Leader Ayash on his bill 4843. I see he is taking his seat, and you ready to rock and roll?
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the committee. Appreciate your latitude. So, House Bill 4843. We've all had the experience where we sign up for something, or we know someone that's signed up for a subscription, whether it's a newspaper, a magazine, some sort of app, or a Candy Crush subscription, and then we forget about it, and all of a sudden, 5 months down the line, we realize we'd been paying for several months on this particular subscription. So this legislation is quite simple. It addresses a need that I think many of us would support in addressing the problem of the surprise subscriptions that may appear on people's bank statements or credit card statements by alerting them and requiring companies to simply give a notice to the consumer prior to the actual subscription from being charged, so that people are aware of what they are paying for. And this is something that is being processed in 20 other different states. It is legislation that the feds are going to start looking at, but I think Michigan can beat them to the punch. And it'll be a good opportunity, I think, to address some of the concerns of people as you think about our seniors, for example, who may sign up for subscriptions that they're not aware of. And then next thing you know, $20 a month or collectively more than that could have a serious impact. Most Americans are subscribed to at least 3 different programs across many different months. And the people, for example, that use things like Rocket Bill, if you guys seen those apps on Facebook or Instagram, Rocket Money, where they tell you, sign up and find out, and we'd help cancel your subscriptions. Users of that app will actually tell you that the average person has 17 subscriptions that they are paying for. And we're not opposed to people subscribing to things. This legislation is not a way to avoid or disincentivize people from subscribing. I certainly love a lot of the subscriptions that I'm signed up for. It's simply just saying allow the consumer to have awareness of that process, so that they're not going to be hit with a surprise extended subscription through that process. So with that, Mr. Chair, I'm happy to answer any questions.
All right. Representative Tisdale.
Thank you, Chair Hoskins. Real quickly, you were talking about surprise subscriptions of the businesses and services that are offering these subscription services. Do we have any idea of how many of them are committing fraud?
The company's committing fraud?
Yes.
No.
Okay, thank you.
Representative Van Workum.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I guess a little bit more of the technical side of the bill. So will this affect only companies that are domiciled in the state of Michigan? And then would they be the only ones subject to litigation and fines? What is the fines? Will they be liable? Does this go to the AG? How does this then get enforced?
Great questions, Representative Van Workum. So the legislation obviously would follow the model of what we've seen in about 20 other states. Among them, this closely follows, I think, the Utah model. So it pretty much requires companies to have an alert system for the customers that they should be alerted 30 days before that subscription is going to be brought up. So, for example, you sign up for a subscription with the Detroit News, and they tell you for 3 months you pay 99 cents. In this instance, if they don't do that, right, the legislation would give the customer, it would require them to then give you that alert that towards the end of month 3, hey, by the way, you're now going to have to start paying $15 or $17 a month for your subscription. As far as what the penalties are, we're still working through what the avenue is. I think the approach right now is it will allow the customer to then file a complaint with the Consumer Protections Division with the AG and then go through that process.
So I guess that doesn't answer my first. Is it those companies that are here are Michigan-based? And I guess I'm
So what do you mean by here? I'm not.
in the state of Michigan. Is this only affecting state of Michigan companies that do subscriptions or anyone that does business in the state?
It would be
And
the latter.
anyone that does business in the state. And so we don't know what kind of fines they would be, other than it's probably open for litigation. And then, is this for yearly subscriptions? I get where you're going. I just got an automatic renewal one on a weight loss one, so it's obviously not working. But you have your the renewal did, yes. But like my Apple ones, those are monthly. Some are yearly, some are 2 years. If we're notifying people every 30 days on what is a monthly subscription, so is there something specific of how much length of the subscription needs to be?
As far as this would be monthly. So if you're paying, I mean, it's hard. You're hard pressed to find programs that charge you on a weekly basis, right? I think that would just be a difficult thing to try to manage. And I think from a business model, most entities are not charging on a weekly subscription model. This would really go after the month or the multi-month tiered processes, and then it allows the customer the option to find an easy way to cancel. It's actually, it's funny you mentioned the weight loss program. Noom is actually in the middle. I don't know if that's the app that you had used, but Noom is actually, huh? You know, if you stand, I could probably give you an assessment. But they're actually in the middle of a class action lawsuit right now because I think to the tune of $600 or $60 million. I don't have the exact number at the top of my head. And it's because of the practices in which they made people sign up, you know, help you lose weight. You know, we'll teach you how to eat and give you best practices and whatnot, and you sign up for this much, and they send you an email and they tell you you can pay $28 for the year or something like that. Turned out a lot of these folks ended up paying hundreds of dollars for that annual fee, and they could not find an easy way to cancel that subscription. So the other part of this is that if I choose to cancel the contract and I want to just cancel the initial term of that contract, they can't impose additional fees and whatnot because they did not disclose that at the beginning of the subscription. So it hides the surprise fees that may come of this, and then it allows the customer an easy out if they don't want to end up signing up for that program.
Thank you. Maybe I missed it, but how will a consumer get notified? Text, email, or I guess I'm thinking about, you know, I pay the bill for the whole family, and I have 2 teenagers, and sometimes I get surprise subscriptions.
So it would require a written notice.
Written notice. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So how that is played out, whether it's an email, whether it's in the statement, you know, if it's like if you're signing up for a subscription, for example, through your provider, then that's the way they would actually send that out to you. Okay. But an email would be sufficient, for example.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Representative Farhat.
Thank you, Chair. And thank you, Abe, for joining, Representative Ayash for joining us today. My question to you guys around how does this impact the cancellation process? I know you talked on the front end, so when I sign up, you have to clearly disclose the terms, you have to clearly disclose the period. When I want to cancel, I know some places, Representative Van Workum reminds me of Planet Fitness. I want to cancel my subscription. I have this big balloon payment at the end. I have to do it in person. I can't do it online. Does this touch on any of that aspect of the auto-renewing of subscriptions?
Yes. So part of and this is sort of where the frustration came with me, is I signed up for subscription for the Freep and the news, and I ended up having two accounts on each company, and it was frustrating because it took me a long time to actually cancel my subscription with the Detroit News and the Free Press. And I was like, all right, guys, I am paying for two separate accounts on each of your companies, right? On each of your newspapers. Just wanted to consolidate. And I had to click one button, put an email, slap my credit card. It took 15 seconds to subscribe to their program. It took me 15 to 20 minutes going back and forth with the customer service rep to cancel that subscription, right? So the legislation would also set the standard that how you subscribe is how you can cancel, right? So I know Planet Fitness is now, as you guys can see from my physique, I don't have to go to Planet Fitness, but we all know that it's a huge problem for many folks. They've had a lot of complaints on, well, we had to go submit a handwritten letter or a paper letter to the site when it took us 10 seconds to sign up, or 1 minute to sign up for the actual membership. This would address that problem in that you can't make the actual cancellation process more stringent or difficult than the actual sign up as well.
That's a good point. I appreciate you clarifying that, because for me, I've had to print out a paper and mail it to some corporate office in another state before to cancel a subscription. It's kind of ridiculous that, like you said, it's 10 seconds to check out, but I got to wait 5 to 7 business days to find out if my subscription is canceled or not, right? So I appreciate you clarifying that.
Representative Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Speaking of the Detroit News, it's very clear. It says $1 for the first 6 months, $14.99 a month after, and so forth. And then there's this block you have to check. I've read and agreed the subscription terms and policies below. Everybody does that, and they're quite lengthy. How many people actually read them? How much more does government have to get involved to put something in there to make an individual responsible for what they sign up for?
So, we're simply telling the company to alert the person 30 days before that renewal. I think that if we're being honest here, if I sign up for something 6 months ago, Representative, look, a lot of us have important things to do. And I'm not keeping up with whether or not I'm paying the Detroit News $15, but if I do forget and $15 accumulates over 1 year, that's over $100 that could go towards paying groceries or medical bills or things of that nature. So this is a practice that is one that prioritizes the needs of the customer while still allowing people to compete in a very competitive subscription-based economy right now. We all sign up for things. I have probably myself over 20 different subscriptions, if I'm going to be honest. And, I keep up with it, but I'll admittedly, I forget. I just noticed I'd been paying for Hulu $8 a month for the last 7 months. I don't even have the app downloaded on any of my devices, right? So it's a matter of sometimes the consumer may forget, and it doesn't hurt that we can help set a standard or a better business practice to simply allow the customer to have awareness prior to.
Representative Miller.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for bringing this issue to us. So is there anything in this bill, just clarify again, is there anything in this bill that addresses that these companies can't go ahead and triple or quadruple their rates? You get that gotcha moment. You're paying a certain dollar amount, and then all of a sudden you fall out of the range and your subscription's up, and then they hit you with a double monthly fee. For example, Sirius. Is there anything in here that addresses a cap on that?
So I'm going to go back to the Noom example. People were paying. Noom is a website that is supposed to teach you better habits on eating, dieting, and sleeping, and it's intended to help folks lose weight. When you sign up for Noom, I think the initial fee is $45 for the year, and you sign up. It's great. You get the first 6 months for $45 and you feel like it's working. All of a sudden, and this is actually why the class action is happening, folks were being charged from $45 to $450, a 10 times increase in what they were paying. Now, we're not here to control what a company decides to do in the market. You know, if they feel like their product is worth the money and people are willing to pay, great. We're simply saying notify the customer before that happens. So in the instance where you sign up for a subscription, well, let's say that your subscription is going to go up. And it could be, in many cases over the last 2 years, we have seen an increase. Your entertainment subscription programs will say we are increasing your monthly rate from $1, but from $14.99 to $17.99 and things of that nature. We would simply require that they provide you an alert 30 days before that would go up if there's going to be a change in the fee. So while we can't control, I mean, if someone decides to go up 15 times or 20 times, if people are still going to be willing to pay, then so be it. We're just simply saying let the customers know prior to, so they're not hit with surprise fees or surprise increases without them being aware. Yeah.
All right, any other questions from committee members? All right, well, thank you, Representative.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I would encourage members of this committee to double check their subscriptions to make sure that they're not paying for any that they're not using right now.
That is good advice there. I'm going to read in some cards submitted on this bill. We have Jim Ryan representing the Michigan Fitness Club Association and not wishing to speak in opposition of the bill. Brian O'Connell. Brian, where are you? Okay. I need to talk to you about something too after committee. But Brian O'Connell, not wishing to speak in opposition of the bill, but would like amendments. We also got letters from the Michigan Chamber of Commerce in opposition of the bill, as well as TechNet in opposition of the bill. So, with that, thank you so much, Representative. With that, Representative Farhat moves to excuse absent members. Without objection, so ordered. Representative Kofia moves to approve the minutes from the September 12th meeting. Without objection, so ordered. There being no further business before the committee will stand adjourned.